Hello friends, welcome to this channel where we talk about IELTS and its related information. Before we continue, kindly subscribe and share this channel so that others will also benefit from this. Now, today we are going to concentrate on speaking part 2. We are very much aware that the speaking test is in 3 different parts. Part 1, which is introductory. Part 2, of which we are going to talk about, is normally called the task card, cue card, or the long run. And then we have the part 3, which is mostly a follow-up question to the task that will be given to you in part 2. But not to worry, today we are going to concentrate on part 2. Kindly subscribe and share. Now, in part 2, you have 1 minute to prepare. And then you'll be given 2 minutes to talk about the task. After the task has been handed to you, the examiner will draw your attention to the fact that you have just 1 minute to prepare the information you are going to talk about. Now, mostly the task could be on education, it could be on technology, it could be on health, it could be anything that is related to life. Now, one other thing that you must pay attention to, especially when you are preparing, these are the things that you have to do. I have itemized 4 important things that you have to do. Now, the first one is for you to itemize your points. Now, most of us normally make the mistake of putting our points in passages. Others will also make the mistake of writing certain things and putting all of them together such that you cannot really identify which point is for which particular part of the question. So first of all, itemize your points. Now, itemizing your points will have to be in relation to the task. That will take us to the second part of the things that we have to do, which is base your points on the task. Now, in part 2, the task is such that you have some instructions in there which will draw your attention to the areas that you have to be touching, especially when you are answering the task. Now, so whilst you have itemized your points, you make sure the itemized points is based on the task or the question that is given to you, because you are expected to achieve the task. Therefore, you'll be given certain areas that you have to cover, and that is why you must pay attention to the points that you are going to jot down, of which it has to be in relation to the task that is given to you. Now, the next thing is that, we have just 1 minute to prepare. 60 seconds. It's not much of a time. Other people will play around with the time, but 60 seconds is not much. So, we have to provide short points. That is to say, the points that we are going to itemize, which will be based on the task, it has to be as short as possible, so we can have enough time to cover all the areas of which the task is given. So for instance, if we are expected to talk about certain areas, because the points that we will list are short and concise and comprehensive, we will be able to touch on all the 4 or 5 or the 3 areas that will be given to us when we are supposed to talk about the task. The last one is we do not have to write too much. Now, writing too much is in relation to short points. Now, these two go hand in hand, because if you write too much on a point, it will get to a part where you're going to explain those points that you've listed. Because you've written too much, you will be as well confused, especially when it gets to the point where you must explain. So do not write too much. Write it in short form, so that in effect you have all the information, you have enough words to expand the point. And as I said, 1 minute is not enough for you to write a lot. So first of all, make sure you itemize your point. As I have itemized mine, make sure you base the itemized points on the task that is given, especially based on the points that you are expected to cover when you start talking about the task. And then provide short points, very short, comprehensive and concise. As I said, it's still must relate to the task that is given to you. And the last one, do not write too much. Now, somebody will say that short points and too much, how are they differentiated? You can write, as I said, you can write something short, but you provide a lot of information. So write comprehensive, concise points. These are the points, the things that you have to do when you are preparing for the IELTS Task 2, which is the task card or the cue card. Let me remind you again to subscribe and share. One thing is, you have 1 minute to prepare for the task that is given to you. You have 2 minutes to talk on the task. And whilst you talk on the task, it has to be based on the question that has been presented. And these are the things that you have to do when you are preparing within the 1 minute. Itemize points, base your points on the task, provide short points, and do not write too much. These are the things that I would like to leave with you in the writing task 2. Make sure you share and then you subscribe. Thanks for watching.